Ladies and gentlemen, President Trump just called Chuck Schumer's brand new government shutdown bluff, and so right now, the Democrats are completely melting down. Now, for those of you that didn't hear the news, yesterday afternoon, Chuck Schumer floated a brand new offer, a new set of conditions under which he would agree to open up the government. That said, this new offer from Chuck Schumer is completely poison-pilled and loaded up with not just healthcare bonuses for illegal aliens, but also tens of billions of dollars in taxpayer-funded subsidies to the healthcare providers themselves, with zero promises whatsoever that premiums for actual Americans would even see a decrease. You see, Chuck Schumer knows that the Senate Republicans won't agree to his brand new, absolutely rotten and anti-American proposal, but he doesn't care, because what he really wants is for the government to remain shut down so that the Democrats have something to complain about for the next 12 months as we head into midterms. And so this is why, like I said a moment ago, President Trump has just publicly called Chuck Schumer's bluff. But before we get to that, I've got something else that I want all of you to quickly take a look at. Let it play.
What is your response to Chuck Schumer's proposal here to keep those ACA benefits going for another year, bipartisan committee to work on those, and reopen the government with a clean CR?
God, please give me patience, because if you give me strength, I'm going to need bail money. What Senator Schumer is suggesting is that we do the dumbest thing possible that won't work. Stupid should hurt more. Senator Schumer says we should just extend the status quo for a year. What does that mean? That means that we would have to take $35 billion of taxpayer money and give it directly to the health insurance companies without any commitment of lowering premiums. How is that going to reduce health care costs? How's that going to reduce premiums? The health care companies are going to take $35 billion from the taxpayers and put it into their pockets. I mean, duh. I don't know what Senator Schumer is thinking. Earth to Chuck. Earth to Chuck. Am I going to vote for this? The short answer is no. The long answer is hell no. I think we're just going to have to get used to the fact that we've been in a shutdown. We're going to be in a shutdown for a while. I voted 14 times to lift the shutdown. The Democrats and Senator Rand Paul have voted 14 times to keep the government shut down.
And so, folks, it really is just that simple. Right now, Chuck Schumer is just openly and blatantly trying to extort money out of the federal government. Really, that's all of us, federal taxpayers. But you know what? Chuck Schumer's brand new poison-pilled offer is actually much worse than anyone could have ever expected. Take a look at this.
And so the Democrats, bottom line, are shutting down the entire government, disrupting air travel, not paying the troops because of these subsidies that were always meant to expire. That's the fight. So what did Chuck Schumer just do? He said, let's extend them another year. We're not going to do that without significant reforms at best. 20% of these subsidies are fraudulent. This is a terrible $50 billion a year fraudulent subsidy program that we have got to stop or dramatically reform. We're not going to let Chuck Schumer extend it another year. That's what he proposed here about an hour ago, and it's nonsense.
And so, folks, did you catch all of that? What he just said is that 20% of these Obamacare subsidies are fraudulent to the tune of $50 billion per year. And so can you guess where all of that money is fraudulently going? That's right, to cover the healthcare costs of tens of millions of illegal aliens that the Democrats let into the country in the first place. And so, like I said earlier, Chuck Schumer has attempted to create a little win-win situation for himself. From his point of view, either the Republicans cave to his brand new poison-pilled offer, and the healthcare companies get their taxpayer-funded subsidies, and the illegal aliens get their taxpayer-funded healthcare coverage, Or the Republicans reject Chuck Schumer's brand new poison-pilled offer, the shutdown continues, and the Democrats keep on complaining about this entire situation that they themselves have created as we head into midterm season. But now, folks, this is where we get to President Trump. Because like I said, President Trump has just publicly called Chuck Schumer's bluff. And so I want you all to take a look at what President Trump himself just had to say about all of this. But first, I do want to quickly mention that if you folks enjoy the daily news updates, please consider subscribing to the channel because it really does help a lot. But okay, check this out. As President Trump just posted on Truth Social, I am recommending to Senate Republicans that the hundreds of billions of dollars currently being sent to money-sucking insurance companies in order to save the bad health care provided by Obamacare be sent directly to the people so that they can purchase their own much better health care and have money left over. In other words, take from the big bad insurance companies, give it to the people, and terminate, per dollar spent, the worst health care anywhere in the world, Obamacare. Unrelated, we must still terminate the filibuster. And so, folks, do all of you understand what President Trump really just did here? President Trump just floated the most socialist, borderline communist healthcare policy of all time, free money for everyone, knowing that the Democrats won't agree to it. He's trolling the Democrats he just called their bluff, because we all know that the Democrats don't actually care about healthcare for Americans. To the contrary, what the Democrats care about is protecting all of their beloved illegal aliens, which is, as far as the Democrats are concerned, really what this entire situation with the shutdown is all about. And then, of course, at the end of that little statement, President Trump says, oh yeah, and by the way, we still need to go nuclear. The notion of which has the Democrats absolutely melting down right now. Take a look.
My sources in the Senate are saying the moderate Democrats are about to cave. They need 5 more. They already have 3, and they're starting to get nervous. If you don't have military getting paid, if you don't have air traffic control, if you don't have your own Senate staffer who's 22 years old making $40 grand a year, he's not getting paid. She's not getting paid. They're under a lot of pressure. And so the Republican strategy is now hold the line. They can't cave. Because what happens if they cave and give them all these Obamacare goodies? They're going to come back next year and they're going to hit them up for twice as much.
And so, folks, not only is all of that true, but here's the deal. Really, there are only 2 acceptable options on the table right now. The Senate Democrats can either surrender and agree to open up the government on our terms, on President Trump's terms, or the Senate Republicans must activate the nuclear option. Really, any other outcome here is completely and totally unacceptable. However, with all of that being said, it does currently seem as if, one way or another, the Democrats are going to end up taking the loss here. And thank God for that, because right now, what we need to do is put America first. But now, folks, before we wrap up with today's video here, I do want to quickly say that I've recently made a second brand new YouTube channel specifically for videos just like this, but a little bit shorter. So I'm going to have a link to that brand new channel pinned at the very top of the comment section down below. And if you would all click that link and go subscribe, it really would help a lot. But beyond that, thank you all very much for tuning in today. And of course, as always, stay safe.